So we're going to talk about connecting to other people, Sangat. What is it to connect to other people? Why does that work? And so, uh, the analogy that I want to share today has to do with magnetism. So you know magnets, right? Magnets, compass orients itself to the field of the earth, right? So you have a little arrow thing, and it's super sensitive, and it knows where the North Pole is and where the South Pole is, and it just kind of guides you, right? So you know. That's magnetism. So the Earth is a giant magnet. It's got a north and a south. And it's got all these field lines going in a certain direction. And a compass just aligns itself with that. And tells you. So that's the Earth as a magnet. If you any magnet, okay. This is just a weird thing about magnets, is you can't just be a magnet that every magnet has directionality. Meaning it has a north and a south. You will not find a magnet that only has a north. You will not find a magnet that only has a south. Every magnet has a north and a south. Don't ask me why. Back in my university days, I might have been able to tell you, because I took all these courses on physics and all that, but now that information is gone. So, magnets. So, what happens with magnets is that unless there's a guiding force, unless there's something that aligns the magnet, each of the little things, they look in a different direction. They're not oriented, okay? So you get some magnets are going to be like opposite, some are going to be faced this way, others are going to be over here. It's all very random. Okay? So magnets, if there's nothing that's like pushing them to align, they're just going to randomly orient themselves. Just like a group of people. If I'm right now, I'm sitting in front of an audience. If I wasn't here, some of you would be facing over there. Some of you would be out, in the washroom. Some of you would be over there. Like there's nothing orienting you. So then, in the absence of anything orienting, the magnets face whatever way they like. You follow? This is true of people, it's true of magnets. And there's something special that happens when a magnetic force is encountered. So if you take something like this, right, a scattered bunch of magnets, and you expose them to a strong magnet, what happens? Yeah. So if all of a sudden a strong magnet that's coming up here, a really big magnet comes, all of a sudden all of these ones are all going to start looking, they're all going to change. They're going to change so that they're all oriented the same way. Very organized. Okay? You understand? That's the nature of magnets, is when the strong magnet comes, it will organize and orient all of the weaker magnets. So what does this have to do with connecting to others? Humans orient much like magnets. Left to their own devices without any kind of order, they just do what they like. Has anyone worked in a job that had suboptimal management? Has anyone worked in a job that the manager is really never there? What do the employees do? Is it good? I mean, say what you like about managers, but you kind of need them. If you want a group of people to work together, right? You kind of need presence. You need orientation. It's not good or bad. Absent orientation, people just go all random. In the presence of a stronger magnet, we orient ourselves for some purpose. And so, when we're talking about self-therapy, right? Connect to self, connect to others, that interplay, it's really about who do you connect to? What do they align? Many of you, have you ever been, so you're drinking and drugging together with a bunch of friends. Is there a ringleader usually? There usually is, right? There's usually someone, like the alpha. They call it the alpha. Maybe you're the alpha. Maybe you're not the alpha, but every group has an alpha. It's just a natural thing. This is why. If not for an alpha, we all start doing random things, and then no one gets organized enough to do anything, right? You want to go for a movie, nothing happens. But someone's like, we're going for a movie. Who's with me? You walk, and then a bunch of people walk. Because people want to be oriented towards something. People want to be connected to something. They want to be part of something bigger. So, when we're talking about connecting to others, at NAM, we talk a lot about spirituality and kind of blocks. And we talk a lot about journeys. How does someone journey? The reality is if you can find strong magnets that orient to recovery, what's going to happen is you're going to, the longer you orient to the recovery, the bigger you get. And the bigger you get, the more likely others will orient to you. Right? It's like a big chain. So connecting to others isn't just random other people. Oh yeah, I'm connected to my family. Well, if that's good enough for you to achieve your objectives in life, good. For many people it is. But if you're stuck in a really hard situation despite having your family, perhaps you need something new. You need something extra. You need something different. Because a lot of family dysfunction is orienting towards not recovery, right? So orienting towards drugs and violence and gossip. There's all sorts of ways. I'm not a big fan of gossip. I took a car ride once with someone, and by the end of that, it was Calgary to Edmonton. The end of the 3 hours, I was gossiping. It's just, you get oriented, and then you start doing it. It's just a principle of life, right? In Punjabi, in Gurmukhi, we call it Sangat. You may have heard that word, Sangha. This is usually how the Western people call it. It's actually more like with a U, Sangat. The company, you are what the company that you keep. So, AA, this is how it works. You orient towards a message. They have the big book that's created a community. AA. Part of that is once you get more stable, you start sponsoring. And in the big book, people were sponsoring just a week after being sober. Because there's nothing that helps an alcoholic like helping another alcoholic. There's something weird about that, but it just turns something on. And Bill says this in his story, when nothing else would work, he would go to a hospital. Surely someone would be struggling with alcohol there, and he would just start talking to the guy, trying to help him, and it would lift him out of his depression. Because when you're orienting someone else to recovery, you get oriented magically, right? So those of you who try to recover and you try to forget your history and what you are and what you've done and the amends are always a living amends. You have to live a different lifestyle. If you've hurt others for an extended period of time, sorry to break it to you, but you're going to be helping people for a long time. Embrace it. Don't deny it. I've hurt lots of people in my life. Maybe that's why I'm here. It's what it is. Embrace it. Nothing bad about it. Humans hurt other humans. It's part of the learning process. But it's a magnetic thing. So when you're connecting to others, this will lead you to connect better to yourself. So when you're going to all these meetings, you're interacting with people, what you're really looking for is people that can either orient you towards recovery or people you can orient towards recovery. The more you do that, the better you will connect to yourself, which will lead to different types of people that you're going to encounter, or different levels of those people. People don't share with you everything that they have. I don't. I have like millions of things that I could share with you, deep things. But why would I? Because you have to be ready. I have to be ready. I have to have that type of relationship. No one shares it all. So people you've known for 10 years, but you may not really know the depths of the good things they can have for you. You have to earn that. How do you earn that? The cycle is how you earn that. The higher your quality and caliber, the higher quality of others you will attract. Which will lead, when I meet some saints, one saint gave me a little kind of technique to kind of increase my attention. It works. I use it. Next time I met him, he gave me a different thing. Right? But if I hadn't used the thing he gave me the first time, he wouldn't have given me a second thing. Or the third thing. Right? I'm not choosy. I go to, when I see a saint, I go as a beggar. When you see people who are strong magnets, you go as a beggar. That's not nature, though. We go like, here, take $50, teach me yoga. As if like they have that obligation. As if $50 obligates you to anything. Get off your high horse. It's not your fault. Our society denigrates teachers. It really is. It doesn't make it favorable. Look at how we deal with our teachers. Public union, right? Teaching is a sacred profession. Connecting to others means connecting to teachers or becoming a teacher. You all have something to teach. In fact, what you have to teach, no one else can teach. I can talk to an alcoholic person till I'm blue in the face, but one word from a person with like lived experience unlocks a door. Hey, you know what? That's healing that I can't do, but you can. Or if you're depressed and you learn to get out of depression, you got stuck in a pit, you got out somehow, now you can tell someone how to get out of a pit. Maybe their pit's not like your pit exactly, but the principles may be the same. You know, for a long time, I would, when I was training in addiction counseling, they talk about triggers and how you should be cautious when you go around your triggers, like alcohol, if you're an alcohol sort of addiction suffering person, or drugs, that you're not safe to go around those things. In early recovery, that is true. But I was really surprised, you know, in the big book. I think that's how Bill got sober. Some person who had a past had no problem going up to him and said, want to talk? And Bill, I think, gave him a beer. And he said, I'm good. Yeah, I was doing that, but I don't need it anymore. So the guy was willing to come into that environment, that toxic environment, to lend a hand. That's the power of recovery. If you have a purpose to be there, then you will be supported in being there. If your purpose is to be a big magnet for someone who's really kind of disoriented and lost, you will get the support you need to do that in a safe way. If your goal is to go and join them, that's cool. You can do that too, if you like. So that's connecting to others. Are you going to be a big magnet? Or are you going to go seek a big magnet? Treatment centers are like a big magnet. But it's not enough. The journey goes on and on after this. Not just now. Teachers, dime a dozen, lots of teachers out there. If your eyes start to open up, you'll start to see them. Lots of people who can teach you lots of stuff. But your eyes have to be open, and sometimes they open at a treatment center. So keep your eyes open as you leave here for what other opportunities do you have that are right in front of you. And then you will go and do a lot better in recovery. Any questions about this? So it's a cycle. Connecting to self, connecting to others leads to a deeper cycle. I've met lots of people who try to meditate their way out of addiction. Doesn't work. But don't let me convince you of that. Try it yourself. Meditate your way out of depression. It just doesn't work. If it's true meditation, it will lead you to better teachers on how to meditate. True recovery leads you to people. It either brings you seekers of healing, or it brings you teachers who can teach you more. True recovery, any worship, any prayer, any true practice, deep practice, it brings you people. Either to teach, in which case please teach them. What do they say in AA? You keep what you give away. I actually prefer you grow what you give away. A teacher who seeks to protect their teachings and not give them out, their teachings shrivel. You're better off to give it away. So if someone comes, don't be annoyed. Think of it as a gift from the universe. Hey, someone wants to learn something from me. Yeah, I'll have a coffee with you. Okay, I'll put my plans on hold. This is what they say in the big book, right? This is why they say it. They have the wisdom to know that if you act as a big magnet for someone, it gives you power to deal with your life issues. That's why you do it. And it's enjoyable. Your spouses will need to understand. Your families will need to understand. That's why we have a family program, to help them understand the importance of this. Because you cannot go back to a life minus this history. If this is where it's gotten you, do not try to deny your history. You cannot deny yourself, and that includes your history. But you can make something of it. You can take your biggest weakness and make it your biggest strength. Okay? I think that's where we'll leave it. Questions about this? Forgive me if I misspoke.